Get ready to meet a man who was larger than life. This conqueror not only named 70 cities after himself, but he even named one after his trusty horse. At just 18 years old, he won his first victory, and for the next 15 years of his conquests, he never lost a single battle. It's no wonder that he was known as the Great. This man's legacy is nothing short of remarkable, and his impact on history is still felt to this day. His military tactics and leadership abilities have been studied and admired for centuries, inspiring countless others to follow in his footsteps. But who was this incredible figure, and what made him so great? From his early life to his countless military campaigns, we'll dive into the incredible story of one of history's most famous conquerors. Alexander the Great, born in 356 BC in Pella, the ancient capital of Macedonia, was a Greek king who conquered much of the known world of his time. Alexander was the son of King Philip II of Macedon and Queen Olympia. When Alexander was just 13 years old, his father, Philip II of Macedon, engaged Aristotle, one of history's most prominent philosophers, to tutor the young prince. The details of their 3-year academic partnership are not widely known, but it is assumed that Aristotle's astute and worldly teachings had a profound impact on Alexander. Legend has it that even as a prince in Greece, Alexander sought out the renowned ascetic Diogenes the Cynic, who rejected societal conventions and slept in a large clay jar. In a public square, Alexander approached the philosopher and asked if there was anything he could do for him, given his wealth and power. Diogenes famously replied, "Yes, stand out of my sunlight." Alexander was struck by Diogenes' nonchalance and unimpressed demeanor, confessing, "If I were not Alexander, I would be Diogenes." At the age of 20, Alexander succeeded his father as king of Macedonia, and he began his military campaign soon after. He was a brilliant military strategist and an exceptional commander who never lost a battle. His military tactics and leadership skills were instrumental in his numerous victories, and he is widely regarded as one of the greatest military commanders of all time. Alexander's first major conquest was against the Persian Empire, which he defeated at the Battle of Issus in 333 BC. He continued his conquest of Persia, capturing the capital city of Persepolis in 330 BC. He won his first battle, and from then on, he gained a reputation for leading his men to battle with lightning speed, allowing his smaller forces to reach and break the enemy lines before his foes had a chance to prepare. After securing his kingdom in Greece, Alexander set his sights on Asia, crossing into present-day Turkey in 334 BC. There, he engaged in a series of battles with the Persians under Darius III, and he came out on top each time. What made Alexander's fighting force so effective was its centerpiece, the Macedonian phalanx. This mighty unit was comprised of 15,000 soldiers armed with 20-foot-long pikes called sarissas. The phalanx was able to hold off the sword-wielding Persians, and it was a key factor in Alexander's many victories. After conquering Persia, he then conquered much of the Middle East and Central Asia, including Egypt, Babylon, and the Indus Valley, establishing an empire that spanned 3 continents and over 20 million square miles. Alexander was also a great patron of learning and culture. He founded several cities, including Alexandria in Egypt, which became one of the most important centers of learning in the ancient world. He encouraged the spread of Greek culture throughout his empire, and he himself adopted many aspects of Persian and Indian culture. Despite his many accomplishments, Alexander's life was marked by controversy and tragedy. He was known for his extreme ambition, his ruthless tactics, and his violent temper. He killed several of his own commanders and friends in fits of rage, and his conquests led to the deaths of countless people. Alexander died in Babylon in 323 BC at the age of 32, possibly from a fever or alcohol poisoning. His death marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new one, as his empire was divided among his generals and eventually succumbed to internal strife and external threats. According to Plutarch, the body of Alexander was first tended to by Egyptian embalmers in Babylon. However, A. Wallace Budge, a prominent Victorian Egyptologist, suggested that Alexander's remains may have been preserved using honey to prevent decomposition. After a year or two following Alexander's death, his body was sent back to Macedonia, but was intercepted by Ptolemy I, one of Alexander's former generals, who then sent it to Egypt. By exerting control over Alexander's body, Ptolemy sought to position himself as the rightful successor to Alexander's empire. Despite his flaws, Alexander's achievements and exploits continue to inspire people to this day. His military campaigns and his impact on world history are still studied and debated by historians, and his legacy remains a source of fascination and wonder.